Do you know there are a lot of things that are hidden in your house even when they're out in the open? We've all heard about dust and bacteria being all over our houses. The tiny specks of dust particles and microbes that you cannot see, and even bugs in the corners you cannot see. Our home is also home to a number of things that can affect your health. Isn't that why we clean our house ever so often? But what if I told you there is something much more dangerous hiding in your house than a spider or a bed bug? Hidden in plain sight on most of your daily household objects are a few chemicals that are known to be carcinogens. Carcinogens are substances or agents that have the potential to cause cancer. They are found in various forms, including chemicals, pollutants, radiation, and certain biological agents. These carcinogens can damage the DNA within our cells, disrupting their normal function and causing mutations. These mutations can lead to uncontrolled cell growth, which is a hallmark of cancer. Exposure to carcinogens over time, either in high doses or repeated low doses, can increase the risk of developing cancer. The more we are exposed to carcinogens, the higher the likelihood of cancer development. Stay tuned to find out the 15 household objects in your house that can significantly increase cancer risk and how to prevent it. Number 1, the couch. Yes, more likely than not, the couch is not a good place for you to be in. And we're not just talking about the adverse effects of being a couch potato. Couches and other cushioned furniture can pose a potential health risk due to the presence of flame-retardant chemicals like TDCIP, short for tris-1,3-dichloro-2-propyl phosphate. These flame retardants were commonly used in furniture manufacturing prior to 2013 to meet flammability standards. However, studies have shown that these chemicals can leach out of the furniture over time, exposing occupants to potentially harmful substances. TDCIP and other flame retardants used in furniture have been linked to an increased risk of cancer, as well as other health issues such as reproductive problems and hormone disruption. These chemicals can migrate out of the furniture foam and into the air and dust, where they can be inhaled or ingested by occupants. Flame retardants are among the most frequently detected chemicals in household dust. This is concerning because dust can accumulate on surfaces throughout the home, including floors, shelves, and furniture, leading to ongoing exposure to these chemicals. If you have cushioned furniture purchased prior to 2013, it may contain TDCIPP or other flame retardants. Consider replacing older furniture with newer flame retardant-free options. When purchasing new furniture, look for labels indicating that the product is free from harmful flame retardants. Additionally, consider using furniture covers or dust-proofing measures to minimize exposure to household dust. Number 2, curtains and carpets. This one is particularly for those who enjoy an occasional smoke or more. Curtains and carpets can potentially increase cancer risk if they have been exposed to cigarette smoke, particularly in environments where smoking occurs indoors. Cigarette smoke contains numerous harmful chemicals, including cadmium. When cigarettes are smoked indoors, these harmful chemicals can linger in the air and settle onto surfaces like curtains and carpets. Cadmium, in particular, is a carcinogenic byproduct of cigarette smoke. Even after the smell of smoke dissipates, cadmium and other cigarette smoke byproducts may remain on soft surfaces like curtains and carpets. This phenomenon is known as third-hand smoke, and it poses health risks, especially for vulnerable populations such as children and non-smoking adults. Third-hand smoke is difficult to eliminate and can persist on surfaces for extended periods, even resisting strong cleaning products. Over time, continued exposure to third-hand smoke residue on curtains and carpets may increase the risk of cancer and other health problems for individuals living in the environment. To reduce the risk associated with curtains and carpets harboring third-hand smoke residue, it's essential to take proactive measures. 1. Quit smoking and never allow smoking in your home. This is the most effective way to prevent exposure to cigarette smoke and its harmful byproducts. 2. Implement thorough cleaning practices for curtains and carpets. Regularly vacuuming carpets and laundering curtains can help remove trapped smoke particles and reduce the accumulation of harmful residues. 3. Consider professional cleaning services for deep cleaning of curtains and carpets, especially in homes where smoking has occurred indoors. 4. Increase ventilation in the home to help disperse indoor air pollutants, including cigarette smoke residues. Number 3, Leather furniture, including leather recliners, can potentially increase cancer risk due to the presence of chromium. Chromium is commonly used in the tanning process to treat leather and give it desirable properties such as durability and resistance to wear and tear. However, it poses health risks when it comes into contact with the skin or is inhaled as dust particles. Exposure to chromium has been linked to various health issues, including respiratory problems, skin irritation, and an increased risk of certain cancers, particularly lung cancer and nasal cancer. When leather furniture is new or undergoes wear and tear over time, chromium can be released into the air or onto surfaces in the form of dust particles. To minimize the risk associated with chromium exposure from leather furniture, consider A. Pay attention to labeling when purchasing leather furniture. Look for products that are labeled as chromium-free or that meet safety standards for chromium content. B. Don't hesitate to ask questions about the materials and manufacturing processes used in the production of leather furniture. C. Ensure proper ventilation in rooms where leather furniture is placed to reduce the concentration of airborne dust particles containing chromium. D. Regularly clean leather furniture using methods recommended by the manufacturer to remove dust and dirt particles, but avoid using harsh chemical cleaners that could exacerbate the release of chromium into the air. Number 4. Garden. I know what you're thinking. How can a garden with healthy plants possibly cause cancer? When gardening, you may come into contact with dioxin present in the soil, particularly if the soil has been contaminated by industrial activities or waste disposal. Additionally, using contaminated water for irrigation purposes and even chemical fertilizers can also introduce dioxin into the garden environment. Dioxin is a highly toxic chemical compound that can pose a risk of cancer when present in the environment, including soil and water. Exposure to dioxin can occur through various means, including contact with contaminated soil while gardening. To minimize the risk of exposure to dioxin while gardening, several precautions can be taken. 1. Wearing gloves while working in the garden can help prevent direct contact with contaminated soil and reduce the risk of absorbing dioxin through the skin. 2. After gardening, it's essential to wash hands thoroughly with soap and water before heading indoors. This can help remove any potential traces of dioxin or other contaminants from the skin. 3. Burning household trash, including yard waste, can release harmful chemicals like dioxin into the air and soil. Instead of burning, opt for proper disposal methods such as composting or recycling. 4. If there are concerns about soil contamination in the garden, consider testing the soil for dioxin and other pollutants. Soil testing can help identify potential risks and inform appropriate safety measures. Number 5. Old refrigerators, particularly those manufactured before the 1970s, may contain polychlorinated biphenyls, or PCBs. PCBs were commonly used in electrical transformers, fluorescent lighting fixtures, and insulation materials found in old appliances. While the production of PCBs has been banned in many countries, including the United States, they can still be present in older appliances and equipment. Exposure to PCBs can occur through inhalation of contaminated air, ingestion of contaminated food or water, or direct contact with contaminated surfaces. PCBs are persistent organic pollutants that can remain in the environment for a long time, and their improper disposal or leakage from old appliances can contribute to environmental contamination. PCBs have been linked to various adverse health effects, including cancer, reproductive disorders, immune system dysfunction, and neurological problems. The International Agency for Research on Cancer, or IARC, has classified PCBs as a Group 1 carcinogen, indicating that they are carcinogenic to humans. To reduce the risk of exposure to PCBs from old appliances like refrigerators, it's important to properly dispose of them and replace them with newer PCB-free models. Additionally, you should pay attention to advisories regarding PCB-contaminated fish and seafood caught in certain marine regions known for waste accumulation, as consumption of contaminated food can also contribute to exposure. Number 6. Cleaning products can contain various chemicals, including formaldehyde, which is a known carcinogen. Formaldehyde exposure can occur through inhalation or skin contact with cleaning products such as dishwashing liquids, fabric softeners, carpet cleaners, and certain paints. Additionally, formaldehyde can be released into the air from gas cookers and open fireplaces, leading to further exposure. To reduce the risk of cancer associated with cleaning products containing formaldehyde, consider the following actions. A. Look for cleaning products labeled as formaldehyde-free or low VOC. These products are less likely to contain harmful chemicals that can increase cancer risk. B. Opt for natural cleaning solutions made from ingredients such as vinegar, baking soda, lemon juice, and hydrogen peroxide. These alternatives are effective for cleaning various surfaces and are less likely to contain harmful chemicals. C. While cleaning and after, open windows and doors to allow fresh air to circulate while cleaning, and use exhaust fans to remove indoor air pollutants. D. When using cleaning products that may contain formaldehyde or other chemicals, wear protective gear such as gloves, goggles, and a mask to minimize skin contact and inhalation of harmful fumes. E. Always read the labels on cleaning products carefully and follow the manufacturer's instructions for safe use and disposal. Avoid mixing different cleaning products, as this can create harmful chemical reactions. Number 7. Closet. Many of the clothes in your wardrobe or closet have made a trip to the dry cleaners at least once. Clothing items that have been dry cleaned may retain residues of perchloroethylene, also known as tetrachloroethylene or PERC, especially if they have not been properly aired out before storage. These residues can accumulate in the closet environment over time. Apart from the dry cleaners, some spot removers used for treating stains on clothing may contain PERC or other potentially harmful chemicals. These products can release vapors that contribute to indoor air pollution within the closet space. Certain shoe polishes and wood cleaners may also contain PERC or similar chemicals. When these products are used in or near the closet area, they can release PERC vapors that contribute to indoor air contamination. Always look for dry cleaners that use alternative cleaning methods or solvents that are less harmful than PERC. Many eco-friendly dry cleaners now offer PERC-free services. When bringing home dry-cleaned clothes, remove them from their plastic bags and allow them to air out in a well-ventilated area before storing them in the closet. This helps to dissipate any residual PERC vapors. And when it comes to home products, opt for non-toxic spot removers, shoe polishes, and wood cleaners that do not contain PERC or other harmful chemicals. Number 8. Flooring and blinds. Vinyl flooring and blinds are commonly made with materials that contain phthalates, which are chemicals suspected of causing cancer and adverse effects on human reproduction or development. Phthalates are used to soften plastics and increase their flexibility, but they can leach out of products and into the air or dust in our homes, where they can be inhaled or ingested. Phthalates are found not only in vinyl flooring and mini blinds, but also in various other household items, such as shower curtains, synthetic leather, wallpaper, and anything made with PVC vinyl. They can even be present in food packaged in plastic containers. When possible, opt for products that are labeled as phthalate-free. Look for alternatives made from natural materials or materials that don't contain harmful chemicals. Plastic toys made before 2008 may contain phthalates, so it's advisable to replace them with safer alternatives such as toys made from wood, silicone, or other phthalate-free materials. Instead of plastic food containers and bottles, choose glass or stainless steel options. These materials are safer alternatives and less likely to leach harmful chemicals into your food and beverages. Limit your use of plastic wraps and food containers, especially those made from PVC vinyl. Instead, consider using reusable glass or silicone food storage containers and beeswax wraps as eco-friendly alternatives. Number 9. The food you eat. Most of the food you eat is not grown organically. From vegetables and grains to dairy and meat, many producers use chemical pesticides, fertilizers, or drugs to increase production and meet the demands of the growing population. However, these practices have been known to be potentially detrimental to a healthy lifestyle. Many of these food sources contain arsenic. While arsenic is a naturally occurring element found in soil, water, and air, it can accumulate in plants and animals that are not grown organically. Conventionally raised chickens may be fed arsenic-based drugs, such as roxarsone, to promote growth and prevent disease. The use of arsenic in poultry farming has been banned in some countries due to health concerns. Opting for organic chicken can reduce the risk of arsenic exposure since organic standards prohibit the use of arsenic-based drugs in poultry production. Rice has a natural tendency to absorb arsenic from soil and water, particularly in regions where arsenic-containing pesticides were previously used. Additionally, rice crops may be irrigated with arsenic-contaminated water. Brown rice tends to contain higher levels of arsenic than white rice because arsenic accumulates in the outer layers of the grain. To mitigate arsenic exposure, it's recommended to rinse rice thoroughly before cooking, and consider alternative grains like quinoa, barley, or bulgur. Some fruit juices, particularly those made from grapes and apples, may contain arsenic due to contamination from arsenic-containing pesticides or from soil and water. Consuming organic or freshly squeezed juices may reduce the risk of arsenic exposure. It's advisable to opt for organic and naturally sourced options whenever feasible. Number 10. Insulation. Thankfully enough, asbestos has been out of favor for decades, but you can still find it in the insulation of older homes, especially those built before the 1980s. Asbestos insulation poses a significant health risk due to its potential to release harmful fibers into the air. As the insulation eventually deteriorates, asbestos fibers become airborne. Since asbestos fibers stick to clothing and shoes, workers exposed to asbestos on the job can also bring asbestos into their homes. Exposure to asbestos fibers can increase the risk of developing various cancers, including lung cancer, mesothelioma, and asbestosis. If your home was built before the 1980s, especially if it has not been renovated, there is a higher likelihood of asbestos-containing materials, including insulation. Asbestos-containing insulation is often found in walls, ceilings, attics, and around pipes. Avoid disturbing these materials as much as possible to prevent the release of asbestos fibers into the air. Refrain from drilling, sanding, cutting, or otherwise damaging asbestos. Containing insulation. If asbestos-containing insulation is in good condition and not disturbed, consider sealing or encapsulating it to prevent fiber release. Encapsulation involves applying a sealant or protective coating over the insulation to contain asbestos fibers. If the insulation is damaged, deteriorating, or needs to be removed due to renovation or remodeling, hire a licensed asbestos abatement professional. Attempting to remove asbestos insulation yourself can lead to significant exposure and health risks. Number 11. Styrofoam cups. Styrofoam cups, often used for holding hot beverages like coffee or soup, pose potential health risks due to the presence of styrene, a chemical used in their manufacturing process. Styrene is classified as a carcinogen by various health agencies, including the International Agency for Research on Cancer, and has been linked to an increased risk of cancer. When hot foods or liquids are stored or served in styrofoam containers, there's a possibility that styrene can leach into the food or drink. This leaching process is more likely to occur when the styrofoam is exposed to heat, such as when hot liquids are poured into the cups. Additionally, styrene exposure can also happen through inhalation, particularly in settings where styrofoam products are burned or heated, such as in waste incineration. Refrain from using styrofoam cups or containers to hold hot beverages or foods. Choose alternatives to styrofoam whenever possible. Look for products made from safer materials, such as paper cups or containers made from recyclable plastics. Dispose of styrofoam products responsibly, following local recycling guidelines. Avoid burning styrofoam or disposing of it in ways that can release harmful chemicals into the environment. Number 12. Books, but only from the public library. According to the Library of Congress and other government sources, medical supplies, library books, and museum artifacts may all be sterilized or fumigated with ethylene oxide, which is a known carcinogen. Ethylene oxide is used to kill bacteria, viruses, and other pathogens on surfaces, making it an effective method for disinfection. However, prolonged or repeated exposure to ethylene oxide can increase the risk of cancer, particularly for those who work with the chemical regularly. While the risk of exposure to ethylene oxide from library books is generally low for the average person, there are still precautions that can be taken to minimize any potential risk. One way to reduce exposure is by not bringing items into your home that have been sterilized or fumigated with ethylene oxide. This stands especially true for older books that have been on library shelves for longer and have been exposed to more rounds of fumigation than others. Number 13. Weed killers. Weed killers containing glyphosate, such as Roundup, have been a subject of controversy due to concerns about their potential carcinogenic effects. Glyphosate is the active ingredient in many herbicides and is widely used in agriculture, landscaping, and home gardening to control weeds. Several studies have raised concerns about glyphosate's link to cancer, particularly non-Hodgkin lymphoma. In 2015, the International Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC, a branch of the World Health Organization, WHO, classified glyphosate as probably carcinogenic to humans. Exposure to glyphosate-containing weed killers can occur through inhalation, skin contact, or ingestion. While the risk of cancer associated with glyphosate exposure remains a topic of debate among scientists and regulatory agencies, many experts advocate for caution. To minimize potential health risks, it's essential to A. Pay close attention to the ingredients and safety precautions listed on weed killer labels. Choose products with lower toxicity and fewer chemical additives whenever possible. B. Explore natural or organic weed control methods that don't rely on chemical herbicides. Options include manual removal, mulching, vinegar-based herbicides, and boiling water treatments. C. When applying weed killers, wear protective clothing, including gloves, long sleeves, pants, and eye protection to minimize skin contact and inhalation exposure. Avoid using weed killers on windy days to prevent drift and contamination of nearby areas. D. Follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully when mixing, applying, and disposing of weed killers. Avoid overuse and excessive application, as this can increase the risk of exposure to harmful chemicals. E. Store weed killers securely in their original containers, out of reach of children and pets. Dispose of unused or expired products preferably through designated hazardous waste collection sites. Number 14. Bug spray. Many conventional bug sprays and pesticides contain synthetic chemicals such as pyrethroids, organophosphates, and carbamates. These chemicals have been linked to various health concerns, including cancer. For example, some studies have suggested that certain pesticides may be carcinogenic or disrupt hormonal balance, increasing the risk of cancer over time. When you use bug sprays indoors or outdoors, you and your family members may inhale the chemicals or absorb them through the skin. Additionally, residues from bug sprays can linger on surfaces and in the air, leading to prolonged exposure. Pets may also be exposed to pesticides through flea collars and tick repellents, further increasing the risk of exposure to harmful chemicals. Improper use or storage of bug sprays can lead to accidental ingestion or inhalation, especially in households with young children or pets. Ingestion of bug spray residues or direct contact with contaminated surfaces can further elevate the risk of health problems, including cancer. Look for less toxic pesticide alternatives that contain natural ingredients such as plant-based oils like citronella, cedarwood, peppermint, or other essential oils known for their insect-repelling properties. You can also make your own bug repellents using natural ingredients like essential oils, vinegar, or garlic. Homemade bug sprays can be effective for repelling pests while reducing the risk of exposure to harmful chemicals. Implement the integrated pest management technique, which emphasizes preventive measures such as sealing entry points, removing food sources, and maintaining cleanliness to reduce the need for pesticides. Number 15. Granite kitchen counters. Granite countertops have gained popularity in recent years due to their durability and aesthetic appeal. However, granite is a natural rock that can contain varying levels of uranium and radium, both of which are radioactive elements. As granite decays over time, it releases radon gas, a known carcinogen that increases the risk of lung cancer, especially when combined with tobacco smoke exposure. Exposure to radon from granite countertops is typically low and may not pose a significant health risk for most people. However, individuals who spend extended periods indoors, such as those who work or cook frequently in kitchens with granite countertops, may have slightly higher exposure levels. Consider having your home's radon levels tested especially if you live in an area with known uranium and radium concentrations in the soil or if you have granite countertops. If radon levels are found to be elevated, there are various mitigation measures available to reduce radon exposure, such as installing ventilation systems and sealing cracks in the foundation. Consulting with a professional can help determine the most appropriate course of action for your home. Increasing ventilation in areas with granite countertops, such as kitchens, can help reduce radon buildup and dissipate any gas that may be present. Opening windows and using exhaust fans while cooking can help improve indoor air quality.